Hey guys, welcome to Bite Me, a Truthful Groomer podcast. I'm Brooke. Hope everybody's doing well in this new year so far. You guys will have to excuse me because I am new to podcasting, so I'm still getting my bearings about me. Some of the episodes might sound choppy, some of them might go on the rails a little bit. I hope that my viewers will be patient with me. This is new to me. I'm honestly shocked I was able to get my shit together enough to even be able to do this. Shout out to JD Con on TikTok. He fully set me up with all the knowledge I would ever need for a podcast. I will forever be indebted to him. And anybody who's looking to start a podcast, let me just tell you, you need to set aside a little bit of dough. You need to get the good camera and the good microphone. Don't try to chance yourself. You buy cheap, you buy twice. Holy cow, this was a learning experience. But I'm here. I'm glad to be here. This is episode 9. We're getting things done. We're doing things. We're changing the world. You're here with me. Let's go. I'm so excited. I really am. But I really do also fear your judgments. So please be kind with the comments, as my viewers usually are. Last episode, we went ahead and talked about New Year's and reality versus expectations. This episode, we're going to talk about systemic oppression. Because when we talked in the last episode about reality versus expectations, we talked about the government and how little expectation is made of them in this age and what should be expected of them versus what is coming from them, and how it's hard to be allegiant to a system that isn't allegiant to us. When we talk about a system that's allegiant to only themselves and not to other people, and people being left out and people starving in the streets and things of that nature, what we're talking about when it goes on for years and years and it comes from the root is systemic oppression. That is what that's called. Building the nation on the backs of Black people and then taking their communities. That's systemic oppression. Taking the land from the Native people and procreating it for our own. That is systemic oppression. Women not being able to vote for years and years and years. And then when they do, their vote counts less, or them making less in the workforce. That is systemic oppression. These are all things that are systemic oppression. Military covering up their rapes is it's systemic. It goes from the root. It's awful. It's insidious. It needs taken care of. It needs taken care of today. We need to plan some resolve to consider this new war on corruption. I think, for my part, where I live in the Black Hills in the state of South Dakota is coming into a new era with old problems. And Gen Z, I think, is going to be the ones that have to come full circle with that the most. But as the boomers die out, the bridge between us and the new era is the millennials and the Gen X's speaking out about the hard topics. I know that can be difficult because we have things like corruption in the Midwestern states that can threaten us, our livelihood, our jobs, our children, even our lives. But in order to defeat it, we have to speak out about it. Out here, the Native American population is the minority. And we talk a lot, on TikTok about BLM, and BLM is great, and that endeavor needs to continue as well. But one group in particular that I don't see get a lot of attention, that needs it, that flies under the radar. I don't know why. I think it's, people say it's because they're resilient, but I think the Native people are a proud people, and I think they're a very kind people, and I think that they don't get the attention that they deserve as minorities because no one's listening to them. But that is a population of minority that is suffering from intense systemic oppression. You also have marginalized genders. This would be women, transgender women, things of that nature. These are people who are being oppressed, have been oppressed, and will continue to be oppressed. And in particular, in my area, Native American people, Native American women, the missing and murdered Indigenous women. They're murdered and go missing and are assaulted 7 times what your average woman is. Think about that for a minute. Like, they're just walking down the road and then they vanish. It's incredulous to me. These are the things that we need to be battling. That is systemic oppression. The fact that no one looked for that woman is systemic oppression. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I mean? When we talk about Native American people, colonizer culture and a flock of white men came into power and just never left. They came here, they took over the land, they raped and pillaged the village and the people, and made it all their own and said that they found it. I mean, it's the same way they culturally appropriated religion. They took that from the Israelites, I believe. That's what Palestine. I mean, white culture is oppression. The only thing we're responsible for is oppression. That is our culture. That's what we do is we take. I mean, you've got from the colonization of the land to residential schools, which is another episode all in of itself. If you guys want more info on that, you should go over to Aunt Kaylee on TikTok because she really has the hard statistics on that. But then even actively stealing the native children in order to eradicate the entire race, that's birth alert, you guys. That goes on in Canada. They'll put a birth alert on a pregnant mother and know when the child is going to be born. And then they'll send Child Protective Services in there and find a reason to take the child. And then it gets adopted out to typically a white Christian or Catholic family. In my own state, Kristi Noem tried to prevent the tribes from protecting the res from COVID. I mean, this is genocide. This is modern day genocide, what we're talking about. They're trying to eradicate an entire race, you know, and in regards to the babies, once you take the babies and adopt them out to white families, if you grew up in a white family, it could be argued that perhaps you're more likely to marry white. And a fun fact that many of you might not know, Native American people cannot inherit land that their ancestors had that was given to them by the government unless they can prove blood quantum, which means you essentially have to be with somebody from your own race in order to inherit this land. It's really fucked. God, it's so fucked. You should be upset, you know. If you're a Native person, you should be upset that people on TikTok or any other forum might be more willing to listen to me than they are to you. Me, a white lady. You should be pissed, and I'm pissed for you. Because what the fuck? Stealing your land, stealing your kids? It's unacceptable. It's systemic oppression, and it's unacceptable. And you know where it happens the most? In the Midwest. And you know what the Midwest is? A bunch of red Midwestern states. When does it end? I mean, seriously, they're a mob. These red Midwestern states. They're a mob of ranching white men, built in with the military and the cops, and they work together. They work together to corrupt and rule these lands where we all populate, and women and minorities have to be scared. You know how I know there's a problem is because Nick Tilson of Indian Collective, he was peaceful protesting with a group of Native American people on Native land at Mount Rushmore, and he's being charged with 4 felonies after an officer shoved him with a shield and he took it. You can go to Indian Collective and donate and research into things they've got going on there towards activism if you want to help. People should appreciate the Native culture, and it should be important to us because that's where it started. You know, North America isn't even North America. That's Turtle Island. And the Native people believe in spirits and the universe. They were the first people, you know. This God and Jesus thing, I hate to break it to you, but that's all bullshit. It comes from the land. It comes from the spirit. Take off your shoes sometime. Okay, put your feet on the earth and recharge from the earth. That's Native culture. Okay? These are the old teachings. And that's what we need more of. We can't let systemic oppression kill that culture. You need to educate yourselves. You need to start paying attention. You need to listen and understand. Anishinaabe on TikTok, he talks about the seventh fire prophecy and modern, you know, what that means for us in the modern day. And it essentially means that Gen Z is going to come and that the world is going to change now. You can go follow him on TikTok for more information on that. I believe he has his own YouTube channel and website as well. But essentially, the Native people are going to be a big part in what changes the future for us. So people better look up and start paying attention because these people, you can't let them die. They are the earth. People have to start giving a shit also about these missing and murdered Indigenous women. Like, what the hell? Seriously, you know? If it was your aunt, your mother, it doesn't matter. She doesn't have to be anybody's anything. That's a person, you know? And they're just taken and nobody does anything. Can you imagine all of the millions of cases? And it's just been accepted as a norm. No, we must do better. We must do better. If you want to know more about the missing and murdered Indigenous women, go to the Coalition to Stop Violence Against Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women. Aunt Kaylee and I are also working to get them signed up with Tiltify as a charity, donatable charity on TikTok. So please go there, voice your concerns, send an email to them, and also to Tiltify, see if we can get them on there and see if we can get these women some funding to help stop the violence against missing and murdered Indigenous women. Again, 7 times the rate of the average female they go missing. Again, follow Anishinaabe on TikTok and Aunt Kaylee. Also, Native Woman Runs is really good for Native American culture information, as well as information about the missing and murdered Indigenous women effort. You can go again to IndianCollective.org to support Nick Tilson. He is the man who's being charged with several felonies for defending himself at a peaceful protest. As usual, go ahead and go to the Truthful Groomer website to discuss on our forum. Tell me what you want to hear. Tell me what you don't want to hear. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Tell me your. I'd love to hear it. The link tree is in the bio of my TikTok. You can check out the pack where we do one-on-one discussions on our private Facebook group for Patreons only. And as always, you can go ahead and check me out on Insta and Twitter. I am so grateful to have you guys' viewership and to have you listen. I'm really excited to get some hard work done, and I hope you are too. And I'll see you next time.